Ah, my dear friends, wouldn't you agree that sometimes to truly appreciate the light, we must first understand the shadows? Today, we're not just looking at a shadow, but stepping directly into the very fabric of existence from a bygone era, the Middle Ages. And our question, simple yet profound, is, how many calories did a medieval peasant truly consume in a day? Forget your fitness trackers, your macro counts, your organic, gluten-free, keto-friendly diets for a moment. Picture, if you will, a world where the sun was your clock, the soil your livelihood and hunger, a constant nagging companion. Our story begins in the year of our Lord 1350, give or take a few decades. The Black Death has swept across Europe, decimating populations, yet life, stubbornly, resiliently, continues. In a small, mud and wattle hut, tucked away in the sprawling fields of what is now, perhaps, northern France, lives a young peasant woman named Elara. She is not a queen, not a knight, not a scholar. She is the very bedrock of her society, a tiller of the earth, a feeder of nations, and yet often forgotten by the grand narratives of history. Ilara's day begins not with an alarm clock, but with the first faint blush of dawn, sometimes even before. The air is crisp, biting, and her stomach, already empty from the night, echoes the chill. There's no time for leisurely morning rituals. Her body, hardened by years of labor, knows its purpose. She rises, perhaps shares a quick wordless glance with her family, and then, without hesitation, she is out the door. Her field awaits. It's a patchwork of earth, stones, and the promise of sustenance. With rudimentary tools, a wooden plow pulled by an ox, if she's fortunate, or perhaps just a heavy hoe, she begins her daily wrestle with the land. Sowing seeds, weeding, clearing stones, each movement is a deliberate act of survival. This isn't exercise, it's existence. The calories she's about to consume are not for pleasure, but for fuel. Fuel to keep her body moving, to keep her family alive. So, what does Elara's plate look like? This, my friends, is where the story truly unfolds. Modern nutritional guidelines, complex dietary theories, they're as alien to Elara as a spaceship. Her food pyramid has one dominant base: grains. Wheat, rye, barley, oats. These are the pillars of her diet. Bread, my friends, is not just a food item for Elara, it is the very essence of life. A thick, coarse, dark loaf, often made from whole grains, providing fiber, energy, and a profound sense of fullness. Let's imagine Elara's breakfast. It's not a continental spread. It's likely a hunk of that dense bread, perhaps a small piece of cheese if her family owns a cow or goat, and almost certainly a bowl of porridge. Made from oats or barley, cooked slowly over a fire, it's a calorie-dense warming meal that provides the immediate energy needed for the arduous morning ahead. This isn't a delicate, sweetened porridge. It's a robust, earthy dish, sometimes flavored with a few wild herbs or a splash of ale. The morning wears on. Hours bleed into each other, marked only by the shifting angle of the sun. The back aches, the hands blister, but the work cannot stop. Around noon, a brief respite. Lunch is often taken in the field itself. More bread, of course. Perhaps some vegetables from their small garden, a turnip, a cabbage leaf, a handful of carrots. Meat? Ah, meat. For a common peasant like Elara, meat is a luxury, a rarity. It's not a daily occurrence, but rather reserved for feast days, special occasions, or when an animal needs to be slaughtered. A pig, perhaps, once a year. A chicken for its eggs, not its flesh, unless it's past its prime. So, the protein largely comes from legumes, beans, peas, lentils, hearty, filling, and sustainable. As the sun begins its slow descent, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple, Elara makes her way back to the hut. Exhaustion seeps into her bones, but there's still work to be done. A fire to stoke, water to fetch, and the most anticipated meal of the day, dinner. Dinner is often the most substantial meal. more bread, naturally, and a bubbling pot of pottage or stew. This is a thick, nourishing soup, a culinary masterpiece of frugality. Into it goes whatever is available. More grains, a variety of vegetables, leeks, onions, cabbages, and sometimes a precious piece of salted pork or a few dried fish, stretching the flavor and protein. The pottage simmers all day, sometimes for days, constantly replenished, a testament to resourcefulness. It's a meal designed for sustenance, for comfort after a long day of toil. Now, let's address the burning question. How many calories did all this actually amount to? Modern estimates, derived from historical records, agricultural yields, and anthropological studies, suggest that a medieval peasant, engaged in such intense physical labor, consumed, on average, anywhere from 2,000 to 2,500 calories per day. But that's not so different from today, you might exclaim. And you'd be right, in terms of raw numbers. However, the crucial difference lies in the expenditure. Elara wasn't sitting at a desk, commuting in a car, or spending her evenings scrolling through social media. Every single calorie she ingested was burned through sheer muscle power, through sweat and strain. Her body was a finely tuned machine, converting every ounce of food into raw energy for survival. Consider also the quality of these calories. Predominantly whole grains, fresh, often wild-foraged vegetables, and minimal processed foods. This was a diet rich in fiber, vitamins, and minerals, albeit sometimes lacking in variety or certain micronutrients, leading to common deficiencies. Another vital component of Elara's diet, and indeed a significant source of calories, was her beverage of choice. Not just water, which could often be unsafe, but low-alcohol ale or cider. These fermented drinks were safer to consume than often contaminated well water and provided additional calories and some nutrients. Children, too, drank weaker versions of these fermented beverages. Elara's story, my friends, is not just about calorie counting. It's a window into the unyielding spirit of humanity. It's a narrative woven with threads of hardship, simplicity, and an unwavering determination to survive against formidable odds. Each mouthful was an act of gratitude, each meal a preparation for the next day's struggle. It reminds us that our relationship with food, once a direct link to the earth and our very existence, has evolved into something far more complex, perhaps even detached. So, the next time you enjoy your meal, whatever it may be, take a moment. Reflect on Elara and the countless others like her. Their lives, their struggles, their simple yet profound connection to the land and the food it provided shape the very world we live in today. And perhaps, in understanding their past, we can better appreciate our present and thoughtfully consider our future. To truly immerse ourselves in Elara's world, picture this scene. The sun now high in the sky, casting long shadows as she toils in the field. Her simple lunch of bread and vegetables laid out on a cloth on the ground. A moment of precious, earned rest amidst the endless labor. A visual that speaks volumes about the caloric struggle and the enduring human spirit.